The show where there are no penalties, nothing is offside, and everything is fair game. This is The Gloves Are Off.
Well, thanks for joining us for a special Wednesday edition of The Gloves Are Off. I hope you enjoyed your Canada Day. Moses Waldo, still on vacation, but he is back tomorrow. So for all you Moses fans, he will be hosting next week. Well, let's get to who is here. Riding co-pilot today from the Lloydminster source, and I guess local realtor, sports editor, Andrew Brethauer. Andrew, how's it feel to be in the co-pilot chair?
Great, moving on up.
Moving on up every week.
Jefferson's just moving on up.
And our guest for today, Ryan Sklapsy, grade 7 teacher at Bishop Lloyd, but also does a lot with the Prairie Pirates, does a lot with the Lloydminster Red Dogs and the Lloyd Comp Barons. Ryan, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
All right, so I'm sure everyone has a little sunburnt. We're looking a little red here, so let's just jump right in here. I'll start over here with you, Andrew. We had the chance of being out in Onion Lake this week for 4 days of intense CBCA action, capped off by Wayne Knight, just pretty much winning everything. Just what did you think of the weekend?
What can you say? We have to start off with Wayne Knight winning, track a record there, winning aggregate, winning everything. Like I said in my column, everything but the 50-50. It's impressive how well he did on that type of track. It does need to settle a little bit more, so we'll probably see that record being broken, but very impressive from Wayne Knight. Impressive from everybody across the board. All the guys going to Calgary as well. They're all, they're in that top 5 in those last 2 heats on Sunday on the championship. So it's going to be interesting with those guys going on to Calgary and, what they did all in Onion Lake.
And my next question, just based on, we're about halfway through the CBCA season, so heading into Calgary, which driver two do you think is kind of, going to be the top dog out of the CBCA drivers?
Staying in the CBCA, I think what it is right now, I think look at Shane Nolan. I think he's had the most consistent year of everybody. Brian Lavicane, you got to give it to him as well. He's the final year. I think he really wants to win. He doesn't want to say it, but I think he really wants to actually put the exclamation point on the season and take home the championship this year.
I think if it was up to me and I was picking one, I would probably go with either Jamie or Brian Lavicane. I think both those guys just have solid outfits. Ryan, I know you're not big on the Chucks, but who do you think or which driver are you pulling for in Calgary?
Hopefully Lavicane. I think my number one thing though is hopefully the weather holds up, because the way it's been lately down in Calgary and last summer the torrential rain they had, and hopefully the weather holds up for the riders and hopefully they can get all the races complete.
That's what we're all hoping for, nice weather. It's going to be nice here, so hopefully it just transfers down to Calgary. So let's switch over to keeping with the local stuff. The Prairie Pirates, first year in midget AAA baseball. It's been a pretty good season. I know you're involved heavily with the team. Just what do you think of the first half so far?
The boys have got off to a good start. A lot of them played together probably since they were Mosquito age. So having that continuity and just moving on up Pee Wee, Bantam, midget, the age groups as they move up, having that continuity with same coaches, same players, and being familiar with each other, I think that's paid off big time for a first-year team that's new to the league. This 9-7 record, I think they'd like to improve a little bit more on, but getting consistency at the plate, balance the pitching out a little bit, and provincials are a month from now, and wait and see what happens from there.
And I know we were talking about it last week with Nairman and Andrew. Nairman mentioned just what a good job Chris King has done, and just what do you think of how he's done and help those guys get to where they are?
Well, it's perfect for Kinger to step into that situation, having the support network that he has. He just walks right in there. He can take control of the boys during practice, during games, and it's kind of been a perfect fit for him as far as stepping right in and not knowing any of the guys, but having the guys familiar with him through knowing what he does at Lakeland College with the women's basketball team. It's been a good fit so far.
And just, we pretty much go to every game here, Andrew. You guys got the Pirate flags up. You've got the big P on the field. So just what do you guys think about all the, the support the community gives the team?
I think it's great to see this community, the team's getting so much support, and the first year as well. And it shows how heavy sports this community is in Lloydminster, and that everybody's rallied behind. It also helps that they are a good team as well. 9-7, yeah, not a great record, but they're in that top half of where they wanted to be, and I think that's it's helping everybody come out and support this team.
All right, and just sticking with the local athletes here, Brandon Vadek, Oil Kings winger from Vermilion, was lucky enough to get drafted 161st overall. So he's had a great season with the Oil Kings, but what it mainly focused on for me was just how many for such a small population. It seems like every year there are just really talented hockey players. So just why do you guys think Lloydminster is such a hot spot for local hockey?
I think it's the training that the kids do. Hockey's turning into a sport that guys commit 12 months of the year round. If they're not on the ice, they're in the gym. If not in the gym, they're doing dry land. They're traveling up to Edmonton for skating sessions, power skating. So you see the guys, how serious they are, and if they have that personal drive and commitment that they want to be excellent at it and give themselves a shot at taking it to junior A, taking it to major junior, wherever their dreams take them, they're putting in the time and commitment to it.
And I know we cover a lot of the teams pretty closely. Just what do you see, I mean, in games and stuff that, is impressive for you?
It's just impressive to see the talent level that all these kids have. Look at guys like Mason Shaw and Cale Clegg, and coming up like Zane Franklin and Kobe Moore. Like, these are kids that have so much potential, and they're only 15, 16, 17 years old, and it's remarkable to see what they can do on the ice right now. And maybe it's because they have so much time on the ice because we're in a smaller community, but it's just amazing to watch these kids. And I always tell people, if you don't get to watch these kids now, you're not going to watch them because they're going to be gone. They're not going to be here past, it sucks to say, they're not going to be playing for the Bobcats. They're going to be playing in the WHL.
Well, look at Clegg, perfect example. 16 years old, probably be playing most players at home, but he's going off to Brandon to play in the WHL. So just pretty, also the Heat. I mean, having 8 players drafted is impressive. But we'll stick with the draft. NHL draft was also over the weekend. Just did it go as you guys expected, and kind of what was maybe the biggest surprise?
It went pretty much as I expected. I think last week I said that the Oilers should trade their pick, but it went exactly. I think Ekblad went first, and then kind of went the way. There wasn't really any major surprises. There was just nothing really stood out. The top 30 guys were the top 30 guys, and that's pretty much how it went.
One thing I was hoping for was more trades, just because it's always fun to see, especially with Philly and how much they hate Bettman. I think it would have been fun to see, a few trades here and there and have him go up to the microphone and get booed and harassed a little bit more than, the intros that he did there. That's always a fun part for me, is watching the trades and watching the reaction of the fans that are attending the draft. So
I will say it was pretty funny when he did the slightly went like this when they were booing. I gave that. I'm not a huge Bettman fan, but he does ham it up when the crowd's booing, which is always nice to see. So we'll just stick with the NHL. It was free agent frenzy yesterday, and there were some deals players that you didn't expect to get that kind of money. I thought there were a few bad deals, and there were also a few good deals. So just when you guys kind of looked at the day and who got signed, what kind of sticks out as the worst deal of the day for you?
Pick anything from Washington. Taking the Penguins defense, basically. I don't understand being a Penguins fan and seeing what Brooks Orpik and Matt Niskanen did. I don't really get why they took that much money to put those type of players there. And I understand actually why they did, because it was a defensive short year. They need to get a defenseman, but to throw that kind of money at players, is it going to make their team better? I really don't think so. There are going to be other cap problems now.
Worst deal, Ryan?
Mine wasn't actually a signing. Mine was a Spezza trade. I thought Brian Murray got absolutely fleeced. I looked at the trade and I'm like, who's this Chason? Who's this other guy? Who's this other guy? And you're giving up your number 1 center for 4 guys that are not NHL ready, that Brian Murray's probably going to get roasted in the Ottawa media, and I think he deserves it.
I think he does too, just for what he got for such a big player. I mean, and even from the Dallas side, I think Dallas cleaned up yesterday based on the guys they signed and players they brought in. But we're going to take a quick break there. So when we come back, we'll actually discuss specifically what the Oilers have been doing over the last week and just kind of what their thoughts are on it. We'll be right back.